Hello, my name's David Taylor from Web Media in Chester, and in this video I want to talk about what happens when you try and do your business website on the cheap. Now, I appreciate that when people are starting up in business, usually you don't have enough money and you have too many demands on the wallet, and so it's only natural that you look at all of the demands for spending and think, what can I get away with not spending on? And in some cases, or quite a lot of cases, an entrepreneur will say, okay, our website, well, I don't need to spend a lot of money on that because there are platforms like Wix or GoDaddy, and there's a number of others out there, and I could go and build my own website. And the problem with that is that, in my view, that is a really massive mistake. And I don't say that because I'm a web designer. I say that because I'm a marketer. And I understand something about how consumers think when they have a buying head on. So let's take a look at this particular website that I've got as an example. This website is featured on a lot of forums and such like that talk about poor web design. And I'm not picking on these guys for any particular reason, but I think it shows or it illustrates some of the points that I'm trying to make about people trying to cut corners and do their own websites so they can save money. The fundamental problem is that business marketing is fundamentally about perception rather than reality. And what I mean by perception is it's more important the way that your business is perceived by consumers than it is what your business is actually like in reality. Okay? So the perception that people have about your business is absolutely critical in terms of establishing your credibility and getting those consumers to be interested in doing business with you. So in this case, this site called Penny Juice, I'm not even sure what they do, something to do with children and fruit juices. We can see that the first assessment that consumers make is a visual one before they start reading anything. So they're looking at the images, they're looking at the colors, they're looking at the layout of elements, and they're gaining an impression here, scrolling down the page, down to the bottom and back up to the top. They're gaining a visual impression about lots of things to do with this business. Things like, is this business a real business? And do I understand what this business does? Does this business do what I thought it did? Is it professional? Is it competent? Is it a business worth speaking to? And the problem is with people who are not versed in web design, that when they come to build a website like this with very rudimentary skills and tools, very often it comes out looking like a really rather poor relation and pretty unprofessional, pretty ropey, not well thought out and not well adjusted to consumer needs. And unfortunately, all that adds up to is that you're not going to get people contacting your business because they've already decided that if their perception is that your business is a bit ropey and a bit cheap and cutting corners, that's exactly what they're going to think about your product and service. Now let's compare this to a website that's done by a professional designer. I'll just zoom in a little bit so we can take a look. So we've got a slider at the top, and then we've got sections with bold headlines, we've got icons to communicate messages, lots of images, some narrative text, but bullet points as well, maps, lots of illustration photographs. So this is a website that's been really carefully thought through and carefully planned in the way that it communicates, but also it looks the part. It looks like this is a business, this is a company that delivers a high quality service and a high quality product and doesn't cut corners. And that's why, if you're thinking about starting a business and you're thinking about how you can cut corners, it's actually better to cut corners on the things that your customers won't see or won't immediately see, i.e. the things behind the scenes. So for example, an office or office furniture or a super duper telephone system. When you start out in business, that's not really necessary. You can work from home, you can use an ordinary phone. Consumers really don't get to see those behind the scenes infrastructures in the early days of a business. But what they do get to see is what you put out in the world as marketing materials. That's both print, brochures, business cards, websites, online advertising, etc. And that's where your money needs to be, not in those behind the scenes issues that people are not really going to see. So that's my message to you today. It's when you're thinking about starting a business, don't cut corners on your online content. I think it's a massive mistake. And good luck to you. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.